Good afternoon. We start 13 News at 4 with breaking news.
So the search is on right now for a gunman involved in a shooting on the west side of Indianapolis. Let's take a look at video from the scene. This is near Rolling Dunes and Waterfront Parkway drives. IMPD says around 2 this afternoon they received a call about a crash. When they arrived at the scene, officers found a man who had been shot slumped over the wheel. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Police are now asking for witnesses to come forward. Of course, we're going to stay on top of this breaking news. It's still an active scene out there right now, so keep it right here. For any updates, you can head to WTHR.com.
We're also learning new details today about a Lawrence shooting involving police. So this shooting happened Sunday night, and new court documents say officers shot a woman who police claim pointed a gun toward them.
Those documents say the moment that Courtney Wilkins also shot and killed her dog and was eventually taken into custody. Alex Almanza joins us now. And Alex, those new court documents, they actually reveal some shocking details.
Yeah, Dustin and Felicia, according to those documents, it started after Wilkins was in her mother's neighbor's yard with a weed trimmer. Now, the documents say a neighbor allegedly told Wilkins that they didn't need her to work in their yard. But one of the neighbors then allegedly asked Wilkins' mother to come out and get her. Then documents detail Wilkins getting upset, and that's when she pointed a gun at her own mother. Neighbors called 911, police arrived, and they say they heard sounds coming from a detached garage. Now, a department spokesperson says officers saw Wilkins yelling and holding a small dog in one arm and a gun in the other. Police say Wilkins then allegedly shot and killed the dog. Officers claim she then raised the gun toward her head, fired a shot, and missed. According to court documents, a Lawrence police officer then fired one shot, hitting Wilkins in the shoulder. Another officer tased Wilkins. Now, these court documents say the officer who shot Wilkins told detectives it looked like Wilkins was pointing the gun at him. Now, Lawrence police say officers go through annual and quarterly training to try to de-escalate situations without using lethal force.
We do shoot, no shoot scenarios at our range, and then we also use a simulator which will simulate a mental health run like this as well, where someone's holding a knife or someone's holding a gun. Like in this instance, when someone has a firearm and that firearm gets pointed at an officer, that's it.
Now, Lawrence police say the officer who fired his gun was placed on administrative duties pending in an internal investigation, which is usually department protocol. But these court documents claim the mother told police that her daughter is bipolar and that she suffers from paranoid schizophrenia. And those documents also claim that the mother says that Wilkins is medicated, but self-medicates using alcohol and illegal drugs. So a lot of disturbing details here, but we'll continue to learn more at 5 o'clock.
Do we know how she's doing right now?
Right now, her condition, at last check, police say Wilkins was in stable condition at the hospital, but that's what police have been telling us so far.
Okay, just sad all around. All right, Alex, thank you.
Yep.
On to more news now. A story that we've been following all day. One man is dead after a shooting on Indy's far south side. So this is a scene near Madison Avenue and Stop 11 Road around 12:30 this morning. IMPD says officers responded to a report of a shooting in an alleyway behind a strip mall. Now, when officers arrived, they found the man who had been shot. He later died at a hospital. We have no word on what led to the shooting.
Right now, out of the nation's capital, we are learning about big changes coming to leadership within the Trump administration. President Trump says he's naming Secretary of State Marco Rubio as acting national security advisor. Rubio would replace former Representative Mike Waltz. Now, President Trump is nominating Waltz for UN ambassador. This all comes hours after sources close to the administration revealed that Waltz was near his last days in the White House. Back in March, Waltz was under fire for reportedly adding a journalist to a private group chat about military strikes. The Deputy National Security Advisor Alex Wong is also expected to resign. The White House is not saying when these changes will go into effect.
Well, this week, President Trump is shifting his auto tariff policy into a different gear, and he's telling supporters in Michigan the change will give U.S. car companies a little bit of a break. Brian Abel explains what that break is and what it all means for those looking for a new car.
I've just signed an executive order to give partial tariff rebates to any company that assembles its cars right here in the U.S.
President Donald Trump this week easing off the auto tariff accelerator. In March, Trump announced a 25% tariff on imported cars and parts. That's set to go into effect this weekend. But now, U.S. manufacturers could be reimbursed on imported parts up to 3.75% of the value of a domestically produced car. After a year, that drops to 2.5%.
It's barely any relief at all, and it only lasts for 2 years, and it only applies to automakers that assemble cars in the United States. For those that do not assemble vehicles in the U.S., this is going to be a disaster.
Autoline's John McElroy says auto companies are bulking up their inventories to stave off immediate tariff impact, but those will be depleted come July.
And that's when I predict you're going to see new car sales in the U.S. nosedive.
The CEOs of Ford and GM bracing for the changes.
You know, the stuff we built now is priced. If we announce a price increase now, it'll go into play in July and August.
What we provided in our guidance is that pricing is going to stay about at the same levels that it is.
But experts like McElroy estimate cost for a car could jump by thousands, depending upon the model.
That will cause car sales to go down, and in some cases, it's going to lead to layoffs. If I had to buy another car right now, whether it's new or used, I would rush out and try to buy it.
In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
All right, another weather impact day as we take a live look over downtown Indy. Nice to see the sunshine out there, Rob, but we have some more rain and storms headed this way.
Yeah, it concerns me a little bit when we get some of the sunshine because it can help to destabilize the atmosphere a little bit. Something to watch. We are watching radar. It is a little bit more active, but the other thing is the pattern has shifted a little bit. As we get closer to the weekend, you know, it's a big weekend.
It is.
The pattern has shifted a little bit, so we've made some significant adjustments to the forecast, starting to see that rain chance really creep in all the way through the weekend and even into next week. So have been some big adjustments. Let me start with where we are currently and talk about some of the rain showers that are out there. We are watching the radar, and overall things look sub-severe, so we're not concerned at the moment. A couple of these with some of that sunshine may be able to pop up just a little bit, but we're going to keep an eye on these. Most of these have been to the west. We had a line of storms earlier that moved through. Now it's over into Ohio. We're watching these. Right now, most of the storms that we're watching are over into Illinois, but as you see, there's a couple here south and west of Terre Haute. We're also watching a few of these that have been popping up near Crawfordsville. Most of these aren't causing too many problems. We'll zoom in just a little bit and show you some of those. Most of these should move through without any trouble, except that when it moves through, it's going to bring you some heavier rainfall. That may impact you if you're going to be traveling. And I'll show you traffic here in just a minute. The other issue today has been that it's been breezy. 20 to 30, maybe 35 to 40 mile per hour winds. They're going to stay with us as long as we have the atmosphere kind of mixing with some of that sunshine out there. Temperatures are mild. They're into the mid 70s. So we've got the heat. We've got some stronger winds. We'll watch some of those storms as we get through the afternoon and through the evening. I will keep that chance for showers and thunderstorms through this evening, and then overnight we should be able to move those out of here. Overnight lows into the 50s. Tomorrow we pick up the rain chance and the storm chance yet again during the afternoon. And get this, guys, we're talking about significant rain chances through the weekend, even into early next week. Coming up, I'm going to talk about those rain chances. How much rain could we see? What day has the best chance? Will the mini marathon be impacted? I'll have that for you coming up. In the meantime, very quickly, I want to hit traffic and just show you what we're looking at. A couple of accidents have popped up here on the board, but nothing major. We are seeing the slowdowns in the typical locations as you approach the south split and the north split. So let's hit both of those. Here's the south split. Traffic again slowing down as you would expect. We're also seeing traffic slowing down near the north split. This is kind of the usual area. So nothing major at the moment, but it is certainly going to be one of those days where we see things begin to slow down at the peak of the afternoon commute.
All right, Rob. And the deadline is quickly approaching to apply for this year's Miss Circle City Classic Coronation. Applications have to be in by 11:59 tonight. It is sponsored by the Indiana Black Expo and is open to female high school students graduating in 2026. So the top 3 winners will get a combined $10,000 in scholarships. The competition also gives them access to mentorship and a network of peers.
All right, less than 8 hours to go.
Awesome. Oh, there's Matthew, Folks, and Julia. And friends, we have turned the page. The calendar has finally flipped to May, and we're kicking off a huge month.
We're off and running. First up, the IU Health 500 Festival Mini Marathon and Delta Dental 5K coming up this Saturday. I want to give you a live look right now at Lucas Oil Stadium. Okay, we don't have the live, but just imagine Lucas Oil Stadium, where the expo just started moments ago, about 10 minutes ago. So today and tomorrow, this is where thousands of people are going to be stopping by to pick up their race day materials, their bibs, their shirts. And this is a change from years past. If you've run this before, you're thinking, this wasn't at Lucas Oil before. For years and years, it was at the convention center. Now it's moved to Lucas Oil Stadium, which is pretty cool. The mini marathon and the 5K both sold out, by the way.
There you go. Okay, so here is a look at the route. This is the mini marathon route, and it starts in front of the Indiana State Museum. Then it goes on West Washington to White River Parkway. Then the runners head west on Michigan, north on Holt Road. The runners will go through Main Street and Speedway.
And that's where Felicia and I will be waiting to wave you on.
Oh, yep, we're going to wave. That's the extent of our participation. Then we're going to take a lap around IMS, okay? It'll be a fun lap for them.
Best part of the course, in my opinion. Love it.
Yes, we like to wave during that time, too. And once they leave the track, they'll go back down to 10th Street on South River Parkway, White River Parkway to New York Street, and then finish at Military Park, where they usually finish, and it'll be wonderful.
You get your medal, you get your picture, and congratulations on a job well done. Heads up for drivers. So, you know, there will be a lot of road closures for this race, especially in downtown Indy. Closures along Senate and Washington Avenue, they're expected to lift by 9:45 once all the runners are through. Most of these closures, though, are going to be in place until sometime mid-afternoon or so. We have complete details on the Mini right now. You can find it at WTHR.com/scene-on-13. And remember, WTHR is your home for the Mini. If you're not running it or walking it, you can watch it live.
Waving it.
Saturday, May 3rd from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on 13 News or on WTHR Plus.
We'll be right back.